All right, we're back from Drag City. Ray Guarino, Joe D, Motormouth Radio. And we are going to go back to the phones and back to the fun and see who we have on the line. When we say hi, you're on with the Motormouths.
Hi there.
Hey, who are we speaking with?
My name is Paul from Merrick.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, what's up?
What's up, man?
I'm trying to get a resolve with water coming in. I believe it's through the windshield. I've been trying to duplicate it after a rain, but I am getting absolute and I know it's not a motor thing, but it's a car thing, and I've got no answers and no kind of help to move along with this.
What kind of car are we talking about, Paul?
2004 Toyota Forerunner.
Okay. Was there any damage incurred in the car in its history, or
never?
Nothing?
Never.
Where do you see?
Showed up one day while I was washing it.
And where do you see it coming through? The right, left, middle, center, top, bottom?
Both sides. I got driver's side, passenger side, and right down onto the carpet on both areas.
You got a sunroof.
I mean, it just streams in.
Drains. Yeah. Is there a sunroof in that Forerunner, Paul?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
First place you want to look. All right.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And I checked the channeling, and that's all good. I checked all of near the... I guess when you pop open the hood and you got your arm holding it, I mean, there's drainage areas there. You know, I know that you got acorns and all the other crap that just
and that's all
falls
gone
in that area. But
all the ones that
I can open the door and see between the door closing that area that the drip is coming right down and channeling right underneath the rugs.
Because the drip,
that smells like the drain.
Yeah, the drains for the sunroof, they come down the A-pillars of the car, and they'll dump out somewhere between the fender and the inner structure of the car.
That's right, Ray.
And what I've had to do on a couple of cars in the family is I've used little Tygon tubing. I made long snakes. I've used compressed air, whatever I had to do. Because if it backs up, that's how it finds an alternate path.
Right. What you want to do, maybe, is that seeing as how you know where the drains are. All right, open the sunroof up and intentionally send water down the holes in a controlled manner.
What I would do is get like a bottle and with a little nozzle on it that I could just squeeze maybe like a hypodermic, say, to get just the water. And you'll see the drain holes, Paul. They're right in the corners.
Awesome.
And put the water straight down into the drains. And if it backs up and comes back at you, you know there's a clog because it should never clog. But,
okay, and if it's clogged, what's that?
Well, that's when I've taken pieces of wire and sent them down. You
compressed
like
air.
a snake. Okay.
Yeah, but gently because it's
okay. So there's the first possible, but second, if it's not, is it just a windshield caulking thing? That's a possibility.
That's pretty unlikely.
Both sides
yeah, fairly unlikely because windshields nowadays seal very, very well. I mean, the other thing you could do is you could visit either a body shop or a glass guy, and I mean that's the kind of thing they look at all the time.
Yeah.
But I would look at it yourself first. I would tackle that thing and see if you can.
You said something
sunroof.
about.
Didn't even think about sunroof. That's amazing.
Right.
This is why you guys are.
You said something about washing.
The ratings that you need to get.
Have you been listening for a while, Paul?
Oh my God! I think I win more tickets with the guys.
On the station.
Shows. It's so awesome. I love it.
Paul's
Thank you very much,
very
man.
good.
Appreciate it.
Really. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Paul.
Good luck with that, man. Let us know how you make out. Okay.
I will.
Thank you.
So long.
Bye.
That was very good to hear from Paul. That's we love to hear from the friends of the station because it does.
Yeah, I had a Chevy Equinox at the shop that they small mammal built a restriction on one side, like right behind the fender.
Yeah,
boy, was it mad when we had to give it the eviction notice.
I had to clean my daughter's Stratus's drains out like almost every other year because it just was a magnet. And I guess the way where she parked it was indigenous to. For that kind of stuff. So we are getting another Paul.
Flashing again.
Yeah, let's go back to the phones and say hi. You're on the Motormouths.
Hi, this is John from Freeport, and I'm no expert, but when it was dripping water on my feet, it was the air conditioning thing that was clogged up, right?
Well, yeah,
that's another one.
It could be the evaporator drain, exactly. That's on the firewall, but he's seen it on both sides, and the AC would drip just in the passenger compartment.
Correct.
All right, I'll take that.
But I like the way you're thinking.
Yep.
All right, I'm tuned in. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, John.
Man. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Listeners helping listeners.
That's it. See? We should have like some kind of forum. Oh, wait a minute. We do. Yeah, motormouthradio.com. You could come access our various blogs and We the Dakota. We got a lot of information there.
There is.
Plus pictures you can make fun of.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Joe, because there's new stuff going up weekly on MotormouthRadio.com. Yes. We have our favorite best car movies. Now there's going to be best or favorite motorcycle movies up there. You can sign up for the weekly email, and you'll get one email that'll just give you the highlights of what happened that week, and then you can click on them and see them for yourself. It's not intrusive. No one's trying to sell you anything or give you Bitcoin advice or whatever. It's all kind of just fun. It's just a way that you can catch up if you didn't get to listen to the show.
By all means, yeah.
But hey, and I got a funny thing here. There was a little thing I read, and I guess
more phones, more fun.
I guess I won't be quizzing you because we got this. We're going again. Let's go back to the phones and back to the fun and say hi. You're on with the Motor Mouths.
Hey, good afternoon, Ray. Good afternoon, Joe.
Hey, is this Dave?
This is David from Power Pro.
David Barden from Power Pro. How are you, Dave?
Hey, how are you?
Excellent.
Good. How are you guys doing today?
Well, not bad. Still standing.
As you see, we've had a spate of early calls, and the phone was kind of tied up, but I'm glad we got you on now. So,
good.
Excellent.
Yeah, I wasn't sure of that for a second.
Yeah, we didn't even get a chance to talk you up, give you schmooze you, do all the usual stuff we do for a guest. But hey, this works too.
Right. So, Dave, let me get this right. If I have this correct, you're the senior manager of training services and diagnostics for Power Pro Tech. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's apparently the new title they've given me.
Okay, well, we bow down to that because Joe and I are both tech-oriented guys, so we appreciate when a trainer, Joe's done a lot of training, and we know how important that is, especially in this world. So.
Bang, rock, look, spark.
Yeah. So I don't know how you if you have a plan on how to encapsulate what you do, or we want to know about the Power Pro. So
yeah, in other words, you got a shtick, let it roll.
You're on.
Well, I'm assuming you guys are familiar with it, but for those people that aren't familiar with the Power Probe, we tried to combine the everyday testing tools that a technician uses, such as a test light, such as a voltmeter, and jumper leads, into one easy-to-use tool. And starting with the basic Power Probe 3, it's essentially a small little 6-inch tool with a couple-inch probe coming out the end of it and a little voltmeter display. There's a 20-foot cable set that connects to your vehicle's battery.
Yeah, that's what I got, the 3.
Right. That's our most popular tool. That allows you a few special things you can't do with other testers. Probably what we're most famous for is because I'm connected to the battery, I can literally apply battery power or battery ground right from the tip of the tool. So you're able to activate components through power or ground on the car in place.
Yes. As Joe likes to call it, the world's smartest set of test leads, jumper leads, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, my box of snakes, my jumper leads, Ray's always making fun of that. I have 72,000 jumper leads with all different type of terminals and stuff I've crimped together over the years for different stuff. Sure. And now I've been grabbing the Power Probe. Right. I was a little gun-shy about Power Probe for some time. And then I finally said, you know what, some of this stuff about I decided to get myself a 3 because I like the voltmeter. I don't like I don't like probing stuff blind because and now I use the thing a lot. And the other day I was working on a power antenna that wouldn't go up and down even though everything was hooked up, and then I finally had somebody flip the switch. Johnny and Dougie, remember? Ignition on, radio on. Remember that for the 700th time? Yeah. And then, sure enough, I only had 2.5 volts going to the antenna. So I was like, oh, okay. In the meantime, and then once we fixed the bad connection, it was fine with the Power Probe without breaking out the fluke and all the other stuff. And the test light wouldn't light up in a case like that. So this actually gave me sort of a better than a yes and no, a go and no go type of approach. It actually gave me the lowdown without whipping out a lot of extra equipment.
Yeah,
right.
Real time save, I got to say.
Now, I guess just a little background. Before I came to Power Probe about 6 years ago, the most recent place I worked was rental car agencies, and that's high volume, quick turnaround work. We got paid factory warranty money from almost all the major manufacturers, but they didn't want us wasting more than they didn't like more than half an hour on a car.
Yep.
Just because of the volume we had. And tools like the Power Probe allowed us to get a lot more of that diagnostic work done in that shortened time period that we had. It literally changed my life in the world that I came from.
Yeah, I saw, Dave, on powerprobe.com, on the website, it does say that in 1991, the goal was to make the ultimate automotive circuit tester, which I think the company has done. Whose vision was that?
That was Mr. Jeff Wisenan.
Okay.
He came out of the Army as a mechanic in Germany, spent some time over there, developed the initial idea, phoned money up, promoted it out to the tool truck guys, and the company grew from there.
Right.
Great idea.
Yeah, it is
fantastic idea, must say.
Yeah.
Isn't it one of those you just kind of want to slap your forehead? Why didn't I think of that?
Well,
oh, yeah.
And that's like Joe said, we all have different test clips. I know I went down to the shop I work at one day as I was bringing tools down, and I brought a cork with a bunch of T-pins, and I showed the fellow I work with. I'm like, here, they're in my top left drawer. You may need these. He's like, for what? I'm like, well, when you want to probe a circuit, you want to back probe, and you want to get into a connector, and then you put your alligator clip on this. We all have our workarounds, our tips and tricks. The Power Probe certainly makes it a lot easier because you can power or you could command ground. Now, being that that's the case, there are a couple pitfalls with the Power Probe that I think you're going to let our listeners in on about how they can get in trouble with it, right?
That's right. And a lot of the training I do is at like these technical colleges training young technicians. And, of course, the instructors are a little leery of putting a tool that can actually apply battery power into a learning technician's hand. And I always preach, that ability to power up components and power up circuits is a great power, but with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
Right, yes.
So I really can preach to technicians, you really got to know the circuit you're working on. You don't want to be doing that on sensitive circuits like sensors and stuff like that, unless you really know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Or unless you got a hook.
Correct.
Which is, for people who don't know, we'll get to that. The hook is another tool made by Power Pro.
Yeah,
so
we're going to interrogate
that later.
About that,
yeah. So what are some of the pitfalls, Dave? How can people hurt themselves or hurt the job by using the tool incorrectly?
Let out the magic smoke.
It's applying power in the wrong place at the wrong time. I can think of a story where a guy did some damage on a pretty expensive car. He was trying to test, and it seemed like a pretty simple test. He was trying to test an AC compressor, whether it would engage or not. And most AC compressors in the past were simple on and off, basically magnets or solenoids like that. But the new ones are duty cycle controlled. He didn't realize that on the car he was on.
Okay.
And so he applied power directly into a computer circuit and took out the module that was controlling that compressor.
Authenticated it, yep.
So like I was saying, you really need to be aware of the circuit you're on before you attempt to apply power or ground.
Right.
Now, there's some things you can do, like if you intentionally trip the circuit breaker on any of the Power Probes, they will still measure your things all day long. It just kind of locks you out from accidentally applying power or ground.
Right. Well, that's good
to know. Yeah.
And I tell some of the instructors, since the rocker switches on them are a replaceable wear part, they pop right out. You can give them the Power Probe without the rocker switch to do all their testing, and then when they need to apply power, they have to come and see the instructor for the trigger.
That's a good idea. And to that note, I noticed that I think it's available for the 3. There is a lock button that you can apply to the power button or ground button to keep it engaged.
The safety, yeah.
Yeah, which is nice. If you have to leave the tool and go take a look, you can actually have the power applied when you walk back to the back of the car, or if a 20-foot or 40-foot lead isn't big enough for you.
Those gremlins could be very mischievous when you're not watching them.
Yeah. Dave, could you walk us through? We have just throw something out to you. We have a car that we're gonna be working on, and it has brake lights. One brake light works, the other brake light doesn't work. And how would you go about a diagnostic like that using the Power Pro?
Initially, I'm probably going to check power and ground coming to the bulb. And if everything looks okay, one of the advantages I didn't get to, being connected directly to the battery, obviously gives me the ability to apply power or ground, but it's also a reference for the tool. It's connected to the battery ground, which is the only true ground on the vehicle. Every other ground on the vehicle is trying to get back to that battery ground. So I could be at the trunk or the rear of the car and maybe clip on the body, but it could be a bad ground causing my brake light problem to begin with.
How many times have I gotten skunked by that?
and it's always it's comparing the battery voltage to any voltage on the